Welcome back to the show. Now, we've just talked about all the great resources that your business has here in our community, but do you know the insurance coverage that your business has? And if it's the right one for you, well, then we've got Tony Martinez joining us to give us some more information. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, you work for Cornerstone Insurance, and you guys really cover everything that a business might need throughout. So let's talk a little bit about why people could be going wrong with their current insurance policy.
Yeah, we insure businesses, as you mentioned, and we insure pretty much everything across the board. Mostly focused on the hospitality space and contractor space because that's what our valley sees the most of. But many times a business owner will go out there and they'll try to do it online and they'll just try to find the cheapest insurance cost that they can. But the more they save, the less coverage they get. So sometimes they may not get the right coverage, especially if they do it themselves.
Which is really important because when you find yourself in one of those situations where your insurance would really come in handy, you're going to be sad that you went with the cheaper option.
You're going to be very heartbroken, yes.
Yeah.
When you get the letter from the adjuster that says that's not covered, that's not fun.
That's not fun. And so if people are interested in maybe having a deep dive into their policy to see exactly what's covered, is that something that you can help them with as they then want to transition to be insured through you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it's important for any business owner to really get to know their insurance agent, whomever that may be, because insurance is really technical and it's very, very specific as far as what's covered, what may not be covered. And so once you get to know your insurance agent really well, they should be asking you a lot of questions about your business, what you do. They should be coming to your business. They should be in your business working with you just to come and observe, just to see what those risks are, because a lot of times they may not recognize something as a risk where somebody could get injured or, we live in a ski community. Somebody might come in and they could slip on the floor in their ski boots. It happens all the time. Who's liable at that point, right?
Right, which is something that is so terrifying to think about. And now that we're putting away the ski boots, this is something you can release for a little while, a few months of stress-free on that front.
Yep.
But it is something that businesses do need to think about, and especially if they've got the beautiful hardwood floors or the cobblestone floors that we see so frequently. Yeah. So what's the first step for a business to start working with you guys? Well,
realistically, it's just reaching out to us and giving us a call or finding us online at our website. Just give us a shout. We're not pushy salespeople. It's not what we do. Our job is to get to know you, as I mentioned, and learn about your business, which is really fascinating because we get to learn about so many different types of industries, and it's really fun to be able to understand a person's business plan. And many times we've talked before about where maybe a young entrepreneur is gung-ho for their business, but then they don't realize that they have employees, they need workers' compensation, they don't have auto insurance that's appropriate for their car or their vehicle. So first step is just give us a call and we'll sit down and have a conversation over a cup of coffee or whatever.
Which is something, the auto insurance, that's something that I had never thought about until I was like, all of these hotels have buses with drivers. Yes. And how do you keep everyone on those buses safe?
That's a great question. You need to be doing background checks on your drivers. You probably don't want drivers that have a lot of accidents in their history or speeding tickets or things of that nature, because many times if a driver has that type of background, the insurance company could very easily say, we're not going to cover that driver. So anybody that's in that vehicle at that time may not be covered.
Now, what are circumstances that you see pretty commonly here that people don't understand would be covered by your insurance?
Well, so I would say the biggest thing that we see is the workers' compensation. Many times somebody will start a new business and they'll have the first employee starting on a Tuesday or a Monday or whatever day, and they forget that they have to have the workers' compensation insurance. And so last minute they're calling us because it's state law to have it. And many times they'll say, well, my employee started on Monday and today's Friday. So if something happened during that time frame, that business owner is really quite liable. I mean, the state's going to come in and help, but the business owner is going to get fined, penalized, and likely probably out of business pretty quick. So medical bills can rack up really fast.
Yeah, they can. And so that right there is a piece of advice that could help
Yeah.
save someone's local business
Yeah.
just by knowing that tidbit. And this is why having an insurance broker who knows the ins and out is so important for our young entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah, for sure. You know, a lot of times, insurance agents are new in the industry, and so they haven't had the life experience. Fortunately, I've spent most of my career in hotels and restaurants working as a former chef and restaurant owner, so I understand some of the risks that come with that. And moving into the risk and financial management side of things, we see a lot of things wrong especially in restaurants, where somebody might be standing on a milk crate to reach something on a high shelf, and a milk crate, as you probably can imagine, is not an OSHA-approved step stool by
Right.
any stretch of the imagination, and they're definitely not stable. I myself have fallen off of a milk crate once before, so you have to watch out for those little things. And you know, going to Home Depot and buying a little step stool to put in your stock room or whatever, so somebody could reach that top shelf, especially in your liquor cabinet and where you're storing your liquor, because it's all glass mostly, right? Somebody falls, broken glass, lacerations, injury. It's not good. It's not good.
It just really can become very messy very quickly, in more sense of just the glass breaking everywhere, but
Yeah.
then the financial aspect of it. Now, as people are maybe hearing this, they're getting more intrigued. What are some other things that they can expect if they have the wrong insurance right now and they want to switch to that right insurance?
Again, I think it just starts with a conversation. You know, sitting down and getting to know their business and what is involved with their business is really important, because to be able to insure it properly, you really need to understand what's going on in that business. So, and our job isn't to come in and tell you all the things that you're doing wrong and have you expect to pay a lot more in insurance costs. But many times we'll be able to point out areas where it's a simple, quick, easy fix. Maybe put a carpet down, or, as I mentioned, a step stool, just to protect your patrons, to protect your employees. You know, in the kitchen, having a kitchen that's laid out properly so that you don't start a deep fryer fire,
Right.
which could be a problem. So just being able to go in and look at all those different aspects and saying, hey, maybe we should look at doing something different with how this is configured, and what if we changed it, and what does that look like? So,
And just so people maybe have a better idea, what are the parameters around business insurance? What do you actually cover? Just kind of that workman's comp, or what are the other advantages to having
yeah,
it?
you know, most times if you are leasing a space, you're going to have to be required to carry certain levels of insurance to protect the building itself. So we work for companies that help protect with fire, that help protect from burns, that help from broken glass. You know, if somebody's behind the bar, again, if the building were to catch fire, you know, who's responsible? Sometimes the sprinkler system might freeze and break. We see that a lot here in the mountains, where
Yes.
the sprinkler system breaks. Now you have a water feature in your restaurant that you weren't aware of when you left the night before, and we've seen that a lot. And so, you know, being able to come in, clean the water, restore it, get it back up and running within 72 hours is usually about the right time frame. But so we work very closely in trying to protect from those types of things as well.
Which is important, because sometimes when people hear the word insurance costs, it makes their stomach just turn inside out. But this is a great way to just do your one-stop shop, get everything that you need in one place, and that way they're nice and protected.
Yeah, and again, you know, like I said, we sit down, we spend a lot of time with the business owners or the management team to make sure that they have the right coverage for what they're doing, and making sure that things are protected properly in the event of a loss. Because again, you know, right now we're seeing with the weather that we're having here in the Vail Valley, you know, we've got outdoor flower nurseries that could potentially lose all of their inventory because of snow and frost and freezing, right? So making sure they have the right way to be able to bring those flowers inside at night or otherwise. So it's just having those conversations and being there when something happens, because it's not if, it's when. But when something happens, being able to go and be face-to-face and help that person through the process of getting that claim covered.
Now, if people are interested in working with you, how's the best way for them to be in contact?
Our website, cifgrp.com, or Cornerstone Insurance and Financial Group. And by the way, we're hiring, so we're growing, we're expanding across the country right now. And so we're growing here as well. And so we are looking to hire an admin person. I thought I'd get a plug in there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
of course. I love it.
But give us a call at our website, or look us up on our website, or give us a call, 970-370-7014. And we'll take the time, sit down, and go through things with you and take a look at what you have and make sure you have the right coverage. And if not, we'll make suggestions. And if you do, then great. We just say, perfect, you're covered, you're good. Keep going with what you're doing.
Tony, thank you so much for taking the time to be here, give us all this great information, and thank you for all that you do to help keep our community safe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Make sure that if your business has the wrong insurance, that you look into the right insurance with the Cornerstone Insurance and Financial Group, because they've got you covered. Or if you're looking for a new career, well, then this is a great stop to look as well. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.